should I buy if I so now I got my $6,000. I'm ready to get in the game. I've taken your course, you're
Right.
mentoring me, you're coaching me.
Yes.
But I found a ATM
Okay.
that someone's selling on eBay or Amazon.
Okay.
To save on that startup cost, because there's always a startup cost to business. Do you recommend I buy a cheaper ATM on eBay or Amazon or Alibaba or something? Because your company sells them as well, right?
Yes. So we sell ATMs. We do the processing for your ATM. So what happens is the way it works is you place an ATM into a location. Before you do that, you need to set the ATM comes pretty much like a blank computer. Okay, it has an operating system on it, but we got to program. We got to put some additional software devices on top of it, something to communicate between the card holder and their bank. Okay, so what we do is you give us information, name and a location, how much the surcharge is, who the money is going to, if it's going some to the location, some to you, what your bank account is. We take all that information, put it in a database. It spits out what we call MAC encryption keys and and how to program the ATM. We program that ATM, and now it's ready to be placed in that location. Once it's in that location, now what happens is a cardholder can take their card, put it in the ATM, and if you picture from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock like a clock, when people put the card in from 12 to 6, it's calling the processor, which calls the bank to verify the funds, and then from 6 to 12, it's releasing the cash funds. Okay, that's how the ATM works. Right. So the reason I tell you that story is because now you have to know what is. Most of the time when somebody's selling a used ATM online, they're selling old technology that isn't upgraded. In 2017, EMV was mandated. EMV stands for Euro, MasterCard, Visa. And when those cards mandated this, they have to be what they call compliant. And so a lot of the older ATMs weren't compliant. So now they're selling them on eBay. So what you're thinking, oh, I'm saving, let's call it $1,500, $1,800 in this. You're not, because those ATMs now have to be upgraded to the latest grade software. And depending on, some of them couldn't be, and some of them could be, but it might cost you $1,000 to upgrade. Now you have a keypad that hasn't been plugged in. The battery goes dead. Keypad doesn't work. That's an extra cost. So you have some extra costs associated with an older ATM. And if you don't know the business, you don't know what you're buying. So I always say, until you've been in the game for a while, you always buy new. Now you got a new product, you know exactly it works. And if it doesn't work, let's say you bought it from us, we can talk you through. It's under warranty, it's fixable, and we can ship you a part, or we can fix it for you. So, but if it's old, I don't know what's wrong, and you won't know if there's something wrong or not, or it's something you did because you're new in the game. So you should always buy new to avoid any kind of headaches. Plus, you put the ATM in, you're telling the store owner you're an expert in the business, and now that thing doesn't work for 2, 3, sometimes 4 days or a week, you don't look professional. So we want to avoid all those problems by buying new. You pay a little bit more. Keep in mind, when you get into something new, you pay a little bit higher cost of entry, but we're here to make money and not lose money. So you won't save if you go the cheap route in the long run, guaranteed.
So that's perfect. So that's sounding like we're business owners, right? We are now in the game, and we're business owners, and we're partnering with you, and you're teaching and educating us.
Yeah.
So it doesn't pay to cut costs, y'all. That's what he's saying. And EMV chip, he's talking about the chips, you guys. EMV chip enabled. There are some people who are in the business, and they're trying to offload old equipment. And so they're trying to pawn off a discounted machine that doesn't have that chip enabled card reader inside the ATM. So yeah, you saved $200, $300 on the machine, on the what Mr. Phillip talked about, the machine, but now you have to spend $500, $600 because it's required in 2017. It's required that all card swiping must be chip enabled. All processing must be chip enabled.
Right.
So that's what Mr. Phillips talking about.
Right. So what does that mean? I just want to go over. This is what it means. What they did is they shifted what they call liability. Okay. So now if a customer goes over to your machine that's not EMV upgraded, they take $200 out. That customer can actually go and file a dispute with their bank, even though they got the money, even though you got proof that they got the money. It doesn't matter. The bank says you're not EMV upgraded. You inherit the liability. So now what happens is the customer gets 200 out of your machine, disputes it with the bank, and guess what? You got to pay them another 200. So now you lost 200. And believe me, there's people out there looking for that. They're making money every week just doing that. And they go 200, 200, 200,000 bucks. And now the next thing you do, they file a dispute and you lose $1,000 like that, just like that. And that's not what you're here. You're here to make money for your family, create generational wealth, and you just smoked $1,000. So you don't want to do that.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. This is powerful, y'all. See, spilling the tea, y'all. Mr. Phillip is here. He's serving in his community. He's giving back and he's teaching. He has a course. Get his course.